Electricity and the light bulb. The day when we shall know exactly what electricity is will chronicle an event, probably greater, more important than any other recorded in the history of the human race. Nikola Tesla. 1, the light bulb in the circuit. The light bulb is something to use the flowing electrons in the circuit. 2, the light bulb's filament, a long coiled piece of metal. 3, the element tungsten, an element that conducts electricity and doesn't mind high temperatures. 4, reviewing concepts. Let's learn something. The light bulb in the circuit is something to use the flowing electrons. The light bulb acts as a resistor. It slows down the current, the flow of electrons, and anything that slows the current or the flow of electrons in the circuit we call a resistor. The incandescent light bulb, how does it work? The incandescent light bulb has a glass bulb as the outer case. That bulb is typically glass and containing a vacuum, nothing at all inside, or argon gas. It never contains oxygen gas or regular air. Inside that glass bulb, we find the filament. Incandescent bulbs contain a long, coiled piece of metal called a filament. In fact, an average 60-watt bulb has over 6 feet of filament wire inside of it. Current electricity. When you turn on a light bulb, electricity flows through the filament. As the filament heats up, it produces light. The color of the light produced depends on the temperature of the filament. How does a light bulb work? 1, electricity travels into the light bulb through the base. 2, the electricity causes a long strand of material or the filament to heat up and glow. Those are the filaments right there. 3, the glass bulb keeps air out. Without it, the filament would catch on fire. If there was any oxygen gas in there, the filament would catch on fire. It is either a vacuum or it's filled with argon gas. Argon is a noble gas element, so it's inert or unreactive. This is a video on how a light bulb works. It's a short video. I'm not going to play it here because it won't record in terms of the audio on this recording, but it is available with this Learn recording and you can watch it. How a light bulb works. I encourage you to watch the video. 2, the light bulb's filament, a long coiled piece of wire. Here is another video that I encourage you to watch. It is on the element number 74, the element most famously associated with light bulbs. It is available along with this Learn recording. And another video again that I encourage you to watch, The Chemistry of Light. This is going to give you a demonstration of what happens to the tungsten filament in oxygen gas and the filament in argon gas. It's pretty cool. Here is that glowing filament as that filament, which is made from the metal element tungsten. As electrical energy flows through it, that electrical energy is transformed into thermal energy and radiant energy. And as that tungsten filament coil heats up, it glows. Who invented the light bulb? Explore with this link and find out about the invention of the light bulb. 3, the element tungsten, an element that conducts electricity and doesn't mind the high temperatures. The metal wire that makes up the filament is made of the element tungsten. The element tungsten is abbreviated with a W for wolfram. Why is tungsten the metal of choice for that filament in a light bulb? Well, let's look at the steps to how we came to use tungsten as the element for the filament. First, it must conduct an electrical current, so we have to start with only metal elements. We can eliminate the metalloids and the nonmetals. We can also eliminate any of the radioactive elements. It must be a conductor of electricity, so we're only going to be considering metal elements. 2, there are going to be huge amounts of heat produced, so it must have a high melting and boiling point, so it withstands high temperatures and doesn't deform. Well, those are going to be the transition metals. The transition metals are the middle block. So we have narrowed the choice down to transition metals. And then we start testing some transition metals that we know to have a particularly high melting and boiling point. And they went through a number before they got to tungsten, but when they got to tungsten, it worked wonderfully and it became the metal of choice for filaments of a light bulb. It has a melting point of 3,422 degrees Celsius, so it can withstand extremely high temperatures. And voila, we have it. We have an element that transforms electrical energy into radiant light energy for our light bulb. Let's try a practice question. What is a filament? A, reflective glass. B, tiny coil of metal wire. C, negative electrons. D, thermal energy. Pause the moment if you want to take some time to think about it before you make your choice. Well, a filament is a tiny coil of metal wire that we find inside a glass bulb as part of our light bulb. The filament is a tiny coil of metal wire. Let's try another one. What is the filament made of? A, iron. B, steel, which is a metal alloy. C, zinc. D, tungsten. Pause the video if you want to take a moment to think about it. Make your choice, and let's see, what is that answer? That answer is, of course, it's tungsten. Tungsten is the element that transforms electrical energy into radiant energy because of its properties. It does that so well. Let's try one last practice question. What type of element is this? A, transition metal. B, noble gas. C, nonmetal. D, radioactive actinide. And if you're not sure, there is a link right there that you can click to check the periodic table. Well, tungsten is a transition metal. It must be a metal because it has to conduct electrical energy, and the transition metals have high melting and boiling points. Tungsten is a transition metal. Here are some more selections that you have to choose from and play. Grow your brain, expand your understanding of electricity. Practice your electricity vocabulary with the crossword puzzle. Play an electricity simulation, make a circuit, and conquer the level 1 challenge. Play the electricity match puzzle and match the word to the image. I hope you learned these few concepts from this Learn recording. We covered the light bulb is something that uses the flow of electrons in a circuit. The filament is a tiny coil of metal wire in a light bulb. That filament is made of that element tungsten. And tungsten is a transition metal.